Hi, Cub Scout families. I hope you're all doing well during this very unique time in history. It may seem like some things are difficult right now. You may be missing out on den meetings, sports, or sleepovers, or visits with friends even. But you may be enjoying some things about staying home too. Can you sleep in later? Are you having some extra time with family? Are you enjoying more free time? How about playing more video games? Are you eating all your Easter candy that you got for Easter? Well, we know the most important reason for us to stay home right now is that it will help keep us and others safe. And that is the most important thing of all. I want to thank you and your families for watching this video I made for you to remind you that you are all still a pack and we're all still part of something amazing. In February during our Blue and Gold banquet, Mrs. Gunther announced to you all that I would begin a new role of Cub Master of Pack 97. At that time, I didn't know the rest of the scouting year would look so very different than what it had before. I'm excited for the challenge of keeping us all connected through Cub Scouts. It will be a challenge, but with your help, I know we can do it. Let's begin our meeting by saying the Pledge of Allegiance together. It's okay if you don't have a flag to look at. I have one here that you can look at while we're saying it. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So for our first remote pack meeting, I thought it would be fun to go over the Scout Law and talk about the different things that make up the Scout Law, starting with the first one. So if we go through the Scout Law, we see a scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. So we're going to go ahead and start talking about the first one, which is trustworthy. So what does it mean to be trustworthy? So let's think about the word trustworthy. The first thing I did was I went ahead and I looked it up in the dictionary. So it says here that trustworthy, able to be relied on, is honest or truthful. Also, words that are associated with trustworthy are reliable, dependable, and honest. Can you think of somebody in your family or a friend or one of our leaders, or maybe a teacher or somebody in your life that you can think of that has those qualities that are reliable, dependable, honest, that when they say they're going to do something, that they follow through and they do it? So that person is able to be relied on, or they are trustworthy. Right now, I'd like you to please think of somebody like that and share it with someone who's watching this video with you. Hi guys, I hope you were able to come up with somebody who was trustworthy in your life. And something you might think about talking about trustworthy is, how can you be a trustworthy person? How can you be somebody who's reliable, truthful, honest, someone can depend on, trustworthy? So I don't know about you guys, but we've been in Scouts a long time. And around my house, I have all of these awesome magazines. All these Boys Life magazines. Now, sometimes I get 2 of them since Zane joined Cub Scouts, but over the years we've gotten many editions of this magazine for many years. They go all the way back to 2015 even. So I love this magazine because, and I don't know how many of you read your Boys Life magazines, but we love them. There are jokes in there, there are stories in there, all kinds of amazing things in here. So I was looking through some of these issues of Boys Life to look for examples of trustworthiness. And I found one very interesting article about a boy, an actual Boy Scout who saved his grandmother from danger. And I was hoping to share that with you. So if you go to the back of your Boys Life magazines, you will see there's always a section, it's usually between 44 and 46, that talks about scouts in action, scouts doing things that save other people. And here's an example of what this looks like right now. So it's called Scouts in Action, right there. So they're all true stories about actual scouts who, when the time came, were showed being very trustworthy by going and saving someone, putting themselves in danger, being somebody that someone could really, really trust and count on to be there for them when they needed it. So this story is about, this actually wasn't the right edition, but this is a good story too. So this is about a scout named Addison Sanner Foley, who they were swimming at the beach, and they were in Florida. You know, there are scouts all over the United States. So they were at a beach called St. Augustine in Florida. Addison realized that his friends were being swept away in something called a rip current. Now, I know a lot of us really enjoy going to the beach. We're really fortunate to have the beach near us. So a lot of us do like to go and travel there. We like to play in the water. And sometimes, even at our New Jersey beaches, Delaware beaches, New York beaches, something happens called, even if you go to the Carolinas, I know a lot of our families here like to vacation there, all along the coast, wherever you go, wherever there's a beach, there's something called a rip current. A rip current is something where the tide comes in at an angle and it can sweep you out to the ocean. If you're not careful, you can get swept way, way out. You can always tell by the surface of the water if there's a rip current. So you have to be careful. And if you ever find yourself getting caught in a rip current, the best thing to do is swim parallel to the shore and be calm. So this time, they got caught in this rip current. And this Life Scout, Addison Sanner Foley, a member of Troop 611 in Gainesville, Florida, was able to save, here's a cartoon picture of the scout, not an actual picture, but he was able, you can see these pictures, he was able to save them and bring them back to shore. So when a scout does something like this, they actually get awarded something called an honor medal. And then they can wear that, it looks just like this, and they can wear that on their uniform. You can see this is a Boy Scout because he's wearing a tan shirt and he's older. So he was awarded a Medal of Honor for his actions. So that showed bravery. It showed being trustworthy because, you know, he was definitely somebody who could be trusted to do the right thing in a dangerous situation, even if he's putting himself in danger. I think that he showed some of those qualities of being trustworthy. So what would be fun if you went through your Boys Life magazines, if you have some at home, and you can look through these, see if you can find any examples of scouts showing being trustworthy, showing those good qualities that make up that term, trustworthy. I wanted to share with you this fun little way of remembering the Scout Law. So I want to introduce you to my friend Trustworthy Tommy. So here he is. Here's Trustworthy Tommy. Does he look like somebody you might know? Maybe. So this is a fun little story that helps you remember all the parts of the Scout Law. Today we talked about trustworthy. So it starts with Trustworthy Tommy. Trustworthy Tommy was a scout, loyal to his mother, helpful to the folks about, and friendly to his brother, courteous to the girls he knew, kind unto his rabbits, obedient to his father too, and cheerful in his habits, thrifty, saving for a need, brave and not a faker, clean in word and thought and deed, and reverent to his maker. So I like this because it kind of gives us a little story. It's hard to remember something if we don't have anything to really anchor it to. So this little story helps us remember each of the different parts of the Scout Law. So while we're here, being quarantined and not able to go out, not able to, really get to see each other, maybe you could spend some time trying to memorize parts or the whole thing of the Scout Law. All right, well, so hopefully that helps. And I'm going to show you also another fun activity you can do to help you remember the Scout Law. Stay tuned. Here's a really fun game, guys, that you can play to help you remember the Scout Law. First, you can take some popsicle sticks, and if you don't have any popsicle sticks, you could just cut up strips of paper. The next thing you can do is on each popsicle stick, write each part of the Scout Law. So on one, you'd start with trustworthy, and then so on until you got all of them. And you can see how they're all jumbled up. To help you remember the order, you can then put them in order. See if you can do this. Have fun with it. So one thing I love about Boys Life magazines is at the end they have these hilarious jokes. As soon as an issue comes, my boys and we just go right to the back of the magazines and start telling the jokes. So I thought I would share some with you today. Cyrus: why don't teddy bears get hungry? Cam: I have no idea. Cyrus: they're always stuffed. I thought you'd like that. Here's another one. Neighbor: does your dog bite? Sam: no. Then how do you feed it? I know. Pretty funny. Well, our time is up. I hope you've enjoyed my video for you. It was great to see you all. And remember, always do your best. See you next time.